It's day 3 of the Electric Picnic 2010. This is what they call a close-up, I think. James Vincent McMorrow is in our little, very warm green cabin. Welcome. Good to finally meet you.
Yeah, you too.
You've just signed a record deal for the States. You must be absolutely thrilled, excited, nervous, all of the above.
Yeah, it's amazing. Vagrant Records, and they're like one of my favorite record labels when I was a kid in school. So it's kind of fitting because when back then they kind of had like bands like Alkaline Trio and stuff like that. It was much more on the sort of like hardcore and punk stuff, and now they're signed bands like School of Seven Bells and the Hold Steady and the Eel. So it's to be sort of counted amongst them. It's pretty heavy. It's pretty great.
You're going to be touring with Bell X1 over in the States as well. That's going to be a bit of a thrill, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's kind of one of those ones where the record's not coming out there until January, so we've got these like 4 months of things, and so there's an EP coming out before CMJ Festival in New York, and I was trying to get on all these tours, and you'd get the tour, and then you'd kind of on the count back you wouldn't, because bands want to have their friends on, so I kind of thought, okay, well maybe we'll just try. And so Bell X1 were doing a tour, and it just kind of made sense, and they're just lovely gentlemen and an amazing band, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
They're a band that have featured on a lot of TV shows over in the States and Canada. You've featured over there too. Tell me about some of those.
Well, I think I had a song on a TV show called One Tree Hill. I don't know it really well. Or a Grey's Anatomy, which of course everyone knows. They pretty much paid for my record, which is kind of, because I made it myself, so I didn't have a lot of money, and then I'd finished it and I needed to have it mixed. So my publisher just kind of came and said, we have this thing, and the money paid for the record and for me, so I was able to put it out here myself. And so they're hugely important, those kind of things. It's like getting into 2, 3, I don't know how many million people's houses in one fell swoop, and the reaction was mad. Like, I mean, when the record was only out here, and I think after that Grey's Anatomy thing, I think it sold, like, it was through my website alone, like just American people just sort of going on and buying it. It was just pretty immense. Yeah.
You probably find your Twitter following is jumping by around 700 ago, and your MySpace visits, all that. You recorded the album, you said, in pretty much in isolation. I mean, how important was that to the way it turned out and the way it sounded?
Oh, I think it wouldn't have sounded like it sounded had I recorded it in a studio or someplace else. I think it needed that environment in order for it to come out that way, because I didn't have those songs. I had 2 songs going into it and a bunch of ideas. So, and it started in January through to June. So it kind of, I can see it obviously in a chronological sense. If I sort of came back the way I recorded the album, I could hear the sort of getting warmer and slightly brighter, and the darker song sort of came in the January, February, when I was sort of trying ideas and things. So I think one couldn't have existed without the other, I think. Yeah.
So you're thinking of a middle eight when you're walking down to the shops to get some milk, that type of vibe, yeah?
Yeah, well, it was right on the beach, so it was pretty beautiful. Like, even in like January, February, put on 4 coats and go sit on the beach and sort of like the sea there. It's just outside Drogheda, so it's like a big long strand, and it's incredibly beautiful, and the sea just kind of rolls in and the tide comes right up. So it was, I guess, the aesthetic sense of music exists, and if you put yourself in a nice environment, you're perhaps more likely to make something interesting.
I was watching you, Dan, your set on the Crawdaddy stage earlier on. A big lineup of musicians with you too. What's going to be the situation for the forthcoming tours? Is it going to be solo, or are you going to be able to bring some of these people with you?
I think for the Bell X1 tour, it'll be on my own, because just logistically, it's a massive thing, and then getting 7 people, including myself, to the US is cost a small fortune. So I think because the record's not coming out until January, up until then I'll probably play solo, and then if there's a call to do it, I'll definitely, because I love having them there. It makes it a different thing for me. I've kind of gotten used to, and I enjoy playing on my own, but the songs weren't written with just myself in mind, so having 6 or 7 people on stage to articulate it, I think, is incredibly important. And so as soon as I can, I will.
Brilliant. Well, we wish you the very best of luck with that, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.